everybody, and welcome to another Cricut craft tutorial. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos all the time, and I would love to have you as part of my crafty family here on YouTube. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you something really fun that you can do with your Cricut. You can make little leather tags, and you can use them for lots of things, but these specific ones are for beanies like this, and then I also have one here. These are made on the Centro 48-pin knitting machine. If you guys want to see a couple tutorials with that, let me know in the comments down below. I'd be happy to show you how to work with that as well. This is something new that I've picked up and I've really been having a lot of fun. But today we're going to show you how to make these tags. So what you're going to need are a few supplies, which I will have everything linked down below for you. But what you'll need is some faux leather or real leather, whatever you really want will work. You're going to need some HTV if you want to decorate your tag. You'll also need a deep point blade, and you're also going to need some sort of a heat source if you want to put HTV on this. And last but not least, the rivets for holding this on to the hat. Now I am going to give you guys the free SVG for this specific tag. You guys can decorate them any way you want, but this way you have the shape with the holes ready to go. You can find that at my website, CorinneBlackstone.com. It's totally free, just download it there. You'll see a thing where it says download here. Make sure to click on that. It's just a black word with a line under it, right above a picture of some of my beanies. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to do this.
Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun.
You can make these tags with pretty much any machine as long as you can cut leather or faux leather. I personally choose to use faux leather, but again, you can use pretty much whatever you want. So I'm offering you guys the free SVG for this style, but just know you can really make any style that you want. So if you're going to use my free SVG, you're going to upload it. Click upload image and then click browse to find where you saved your design. You'll need to make sure that you unzip this, and then I'm going to show you. So I saved mine, they're called beanie tag, and you'll see that yours might show as an HTML document. That is your SVG. Go ahead and click that and save it. You'll see here that we have it all pulled up. You don't need to do anything to it other than just click save because it's an SVG, so just click upload. Once you've done that, you can select it and insert the image. So just click add to canvas. That's something that they've changed. It used to say insert image. Now it says add to canvas. Now these are pre-sized for you, but you can resize them to any size really that you want. So they're 5 inches by 1/2 inch, which for me is about what I like for my tag sizes. But again, you can do whatever you want. You can use your own sizing and shapes. So if you wanted to do like a square, you can do that. Figure out what size you want it. And then all you need to do is put the holes in. So I'll show you really quick. Just open up a circle. This is so easy, you guys. I'm so excited to show you how to do this. Like, I feel like you guys have taught me so much if you're from the Knitting Machine Queens group. So I'm really excited to show you. So all I'm going to do, and I'm going to change the color of this so I can see it better, is let's say we're going to make a little square tag here. So I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to duplicate this. And I just want to make enough to kind of go around, and for some reason my duplicate didn't stay, so we'll just duplicate it again, no big deal. And you're just going to kind of put however many you want around. Like I said, I'm just doing this to show you really quick, so I'm just going to do the top just so you can see how to do this. So let's say I want 4 of these dots across the top. Now they look like a hot mess. Go ahead and select all of the dots, go up to a line, and then what I like to do is distribute evenly vertically. Once they're evenly distributed vertically, they look a little funky still, go to align and then just click align top. And then you'll have them all aligned. Now it does still not look quite right, and sometimes Cricut Design Space isn't always great at spacing them, but you can kind of mess with them and figure out your spacing yourself and go from there. So let's say we're happy with that. All we need to do now is select the entire thing and click attach. It'll cut out your little holes and it's good to go. So that's if you want to make another shape. But we're going to go ahead and make this tag, and we're just going to add some text to it. So my text is always happy crafting. That's my little saying if you guys are new to my channel, because I know some of you will be. So what we're going to do is I'm going to change the font on this, and I have a ton of different fonts downloaded. I know which ones work really well for cutting with HTV. I use StarCraft Soft Flex for this because I found that it really doesn't cut great on some of the other ones. So you may just want to play around with your like tag and your sizing and your font, because like this one's a little bit too fat and it didn't really fit very well. So I did need to find kind of a thin font that worked pretty well, and Cold Brew is like the perfect font for this. So all I'm going to do is line this up here. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it and line it up over here. That looks pretty good. So then what I do is I select both of my pieces of text, and I'm going to just go ahead and weld them just to make it easier on me. And once it's welded, I always flip it on the mat because it's HTV, so it needs to be mirrored anyways. And now you're going to be ready to cut out your HTV and your tag. So all you have to do is click Make It. Now I have the Maker 3, but you can do this on the Explorer Air 2, the Explorer Air. You should be able to do it on the Joy. You can do it on the regular Maker. This will work on any Cricut machine. Go ahead and click Done, and you'll see here we have our HTV setting, and then we also have our tag. So what I'm going to do, let's say we're going to make 5 of them. You can just go up here to Project Copies, select how many copies you want of it, and click Apply. Now, with the HTV, I prefer to move mine around a little bit. So I find them to be a little too close together. So what you can do is just grab them, click them, and then you can drag them down a little bit. So it gives you a little bit more space between your words. Sometimes they're just a little too close, and it's hard to cut between them without accidentally cutting one of the designs. But you can see it still barely takes up 2 inches of HTV. Then over here you can see you have your tags. Now you can change your material size to whatever material size you're working with. So if you've got 4x6 pages of like felt or leather or whatever you're using, you can just change it to match that size so that it knows where to cut and which way to lay them out. So you want to kind of pay attention to the way that it's laying them out on your machine. We're going to go ahead and make sure we have our first mat selected, because we're going to start with doing the HTV. This is totally optional. You don't have to, but I like to put a little HTV on mine. So I'm going to click Continue, and it is going to connect to my Cricut Maker 3. Like I said, you can do this on any of the machines, so don't worry. The next thing that we're going to do, we'll select Everyday Iron-On. That's how we're going to cut our StarCraft Softflex. The first thing that we're going to cut is our HTV. So this is just some StarCraft. So all I'm going to do is just lay this on my mat, HTV side up, and I'm just going to go ahead and load this into my machine. We'll go ahead and get this cut out, and then I'll show you how to load your faux leather or whatever other material you want to use. Once your Softflex is cut, it's time to cut out our faux leather. Now this is something that you're going to have to do some test cutting. I recommend just cutting out some circles and squares until you find the cut that works best for your machine. So for me, what I need to do is I'm going to go into Browse All Materials, and I know that I can search leather and it's going to bring up a bunch of different options. So I would recommend starting kind of in the leather section and try a couple different settings to see what works best with your machine. For mine, metallic leather is the best setting that works for my machine and the leather that I'm using. My leather is from 143 Vinyl, and you can save 5% on their entire site by using code Corinne. But we're going to just hit Done, and we're ready to cut out our leather. So we're going to go over there, and I'm going to show you guys how to set that up, because you do need to change the blade in your machine, and you're going to want to make sure that you move the white wheels in your machine over. For your leather, you're going to want to use a fabric grip mat. I'm using one by Nakapa. And one thing you want to make sure is that your item is pressed down really, really well onto your mat. So I'm just going to make sure that this is really well pressed down, including down here at the bottom. And we're just going to give this a really well shoved press. The next thing that you want to make sure you do is that you have moved your star wheels over to the side, and then you also want to make sure your blade has been changed. So I did change this, but all you have to do is pop your original housing, the silver housing, which is your fine point blade, out, and then put your deep point blade in, which is the black blade. This blade works with both the Explorer and the Maker, but not with the Joy. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and slide our mat in and load it. Again, I'm just going to make sure that it's well held down. I'm not so worried about down here, but definitely up there we want it well held down. I did try this with a different mat, and it tore my, it was just a mess. I highly recommend the Nakapa brand. They're really inexpensive, and they're really, really good mats. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cut out and let you guys watch. But actually, right real quick, I want to make sure, while I'm thinking of it, I just want to give my blade a quick once over, make sure there's no glitter or anything stuck to it, and we're good there. So just a double check is always a good thing. Go ahead and press the go button and we'll let this cut out. Now once it's done cutting, before I do anything else, I want to unload the mat a little bit just to make sure that it cut through. And certain colors of faux leather are a little hard to see that it cut, so I just like to do a quick test. And you can see that it's still on the mat, so it cut. We can go ahead and unload, close our machine here, get it out of the way. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the big sheet of the faux leather off. You can see we have like a random spot of leather hanging out. Pop that off. So then all I do is pop these off. Now I will say this mat is pretty sticky, so the dots love to stay on, and I'll just get those off later. But you can see now you have really cool tags. And you can make these any color that you want, any style that you want. They're really easy. And I'll show you guys how to press the HTV, and then I'll show you guys how to install the tags. So what I have is a heat press mat and then parchment paper, and then I'm just going to use my Cricut Easy Press Mini for this, but you could do this on a regular heat press, you could use an iron, you could use an easy press. So all I'm going to do is line up my HTV on my tag, just get it where I'm happy, try to get it as straight as I can. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I like to do one at a time when I do these, just to be safe, because it can move around. So just cover it with your parchment paper, and then I just make sure that I cover one section. And I don't have to press this real long. StarCraft Soft Flex only presses for about 8 to 10 seconds, so it presses pretty quickly. And you don't really need to give it any pressure. I'm barely pressure on this, because you don't want any of the adhesive to seep out. And then once you've done that, you can go ahead and peel off your carrier sheet, and you're done. So you can really whip out quite a few tags. Like I said, you can do multiples at the same time. It's really up to you. I like to just go one at a time when I'm doing just a couple, just because then I make sure I don't like mess anything up. So again, we're just going to go ahead and press it. And again, you just press for just a few seconds. It really doesn't take very long. I'll show you guys the rivets that I use and then how to install these on the hats. It's really easy, really fun, and you can make these super simple and really inexpensive. I get the medium rivets from Michaels. You get, I believe, 100 in a pack. So you get one side that has a long piece on it, and then the other side has the short piece. So they just look like buttons almost, just little flat-sided buttons. And all I'm going to do is line this up on my hat where I want it and fold it in half. And then I just make sure that it's nice and tight, because I don't want it to like droop under the hat. And I just sort of pinch it up there. I take the side that has the long end and I just stick it through to the other side of the hat, and then I find the hole from the other side of the tag, so you can see it's sticking through there. Take the short side and just snap them together. Now the cool thing is these can be taken off, so if your customer doesn't want them, or you want to like hand wash the hat and you don't want to put the faux leather through the wash, you can easily do that. But look at how fun, and it's so easy and really fun, really simple to do. You can really add whatever you want. You can make them as long as you want or as short as you want. You can find tons and tons of colors of faux leather style type products, and you can make squares. You can do really just about anything that you want. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know in those comments down below. Don't forget that I've listed everything that we use to make these down in the description box, and you can get that free SVG for these at CorinneBlackstone.com. I hope you guys have a great day and happy crafting!